welcome to Big Sister. Thank you so much for being a part of my channel. Please don't forget to like, share, and to subscribe. I also want to thank all the new subscribers on my channel. Check it out, it is new. And I will be uploading things from time to time. I will also be getting back on camera in the future. I've just been so busy doing different things, and I really like to get myself together before I get on here. I'm not saying I look raggedy right now or anything like that, but there's just a lot more involved in being on camera and getting my lights out and doing all these different things. And my schedule right now is not allowing for that, okay? But at the same time, I don't want to just not do any videos. And I'm going to be giving this channel a little more TLC because I have been busy and out in the loop for some time. I'm also going to be doing what I call Military Corner. I have served in the military. I have retired at a fairly young age, and I want to be able to share some of my knowledge and expertise in some areas. I will not claim to know every new Army regulation or military regulation, but they do not change too much. Apart from a few of the DAPAMs and policies, there are certain things that's just not going to change, okay? And so today we're going to be talking about your monthly counseling. If you are a junior soldier, that means you are not a sergeant and you are not an officer. You're like from a private all the way up to what we know in the Army as being a specialist, an E4. You are not a non-commissioned officer and you are not an officer. We're going to talk about you guys, okay? And a lot of times you may think that you don't matter because you're the lowest ranking, but you actually have a lot of power with your rank. Now, you are not above the Army regulations, but you must understand that if you're being mistreated and you're being done wrong, don't let people intimidate you because they're higher ranking than you. Don't let them tell you things that you can't go and talk to a superior, or you can't say anything about any wrongdoing or any sort of verbal or emotional or even physical abuse and sexual abuse being done. They will make you feel like no one is going to help you. But that is not true. What they bank on is your silence. Now, what you have to understand about the military is that it is set up to help you. I know there are a lot of people who have their own theories about the military. They have their own theories about the government. There's all these things. I'm not going to say everything is perfect, but in my opinion, you are safer there than when you're just a regular everyday person. Okay, because someone could come up and do certain things to you right now and on the street in your neighborhood, and they're not going to be subject to the uniform code of military justice. You can be at work and someone can really be doing certain things to you, and while they can capture that and there can be some things that can be done, it is absolutely different in the military. Like immediately, the minute you report it, that person's going to be in somebody's office explaining what they've done. There's going to be some paperwork. There's going to be some rank going. There's going to be some sort of disciplinary action. There's going to be all these things that fall into place. But again, no one is perfect, right? A lot of the things that you have heard about what happens in the military and things that I have even heard about, a lot of times, guys, these things are happening in units where perhaps in some they have the good old boy system. In some they just have a way of doing things to keep things in-house. And that only has to do with those specific individuals in command. They may all be playing golf together and hanging out together, drinking together, doing things that they shouldn't be doing, breaking the regulations. And they try to corner you and make you think that you're by yourself, that there's nobody else you can talk to. Oh, I'm friends with a sergeant major, I'm friends with a commander, so you can't do anything. And you see all these people coming with all this rank on their shoulders, and they're sitting around and maybe meeting you somewhere and talking crazy to you. But you have to understand that's not the reality. The chain of command goes way beyond. It goes outside your section. It goes outside your unit. It goes outside your company, okay? All the way to the top, okay? I mean, literally, you can write the President of the United States if something happened. Now you shouldn't have to go that far. There's so many, but what they want you to do, guys, is solve everything at the lowest possible level. But you are not obligated to. If you don't feel comfortable talking to your immediate supervisor, you don't have to tell them anything. They'll be like, well, what do you want to go see the commander? Why do you want to go see sergeant major or first sergeant? Why do you want to go see the section sergeant? I don't want to talk about it. It's private. And they can't force you. That's what you have to understand. You're not being disrespectful. It has nothing to do with their rent. They can't make you talk about something. They can't make you tell them something that you don't feel comfortable telling them. And they cannot stop you. This is what you must understand. Now, with that being said, I'm not encouraging you guys to be a bunch of rebels. If you're not coming to work on time, if you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, if you're not showing up to duty on time, if you are not showing up for CQ or overnight duty, if you are not wearing your uniform correctly, if you're coming in drunk and all these things, you don't have anything to fall back on. If you're not following the regulations, you're going to be disciplined. That's just how it is. And it's not that your supervisor is being mean to you. You're not doing what you're supposed to do. And they have to get you in order, because you have to remember the bottom line for the military is to protect and serve. It is to defend our country from all enemies, foreign or domestic. So even though right now you may have an office job, or you may be working at a motor pool or whatever, you have to have those disciplines at all times to show up, do what you're supposed to do, wear your uniform the way you're supposed to, do your hair the way that you need to do it, to make sure you are in compliance with the military and what they expect from how your hair should be, how you keep your hair cut. Stop trying to go get profiles and all these things just so you can keep that goatee when you do not have any issues with your skin. And I'll do another video about that. But when you know that you're coming in doing the right things, and you're seeing a lot of unfair, wrong treatment, and you're being intimidated and mistreated, and you're being kept at home, you're being kept after work and brought in early, and you can't go to lunch and all the stuff, you're almost being hazed and mistreated, there are avenues and there's steps that you can take, okay, to ensure that they're not taking advantage of you. And there's nothing they can do. They will try. You're going to see, as soon as you say to them, you want to go up your chain of command, and you need to be familiar with that. Who's in your chain of command? You may not even know who to go to. And normally in units, there's a board somewhere that's going to show you who is who. Okay? And so you need to know who these individuals are and understand that they're not off limits to you, and you can actually go and sit there and talk to them. They want you to normally talk at the lowest level, but sometimes if your situation is so serious, you can skip over certain individuals if you know you've already talked to this person. If you already know your section sergeant and your immediate supervisor are buddies, and they're ganging up on you, you can say, I want to go further up. And now you're going to see them start to try to sit you down and, well, what's going on? You know that I was just playing, da 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 da. No, I want to talk to this person. And if they don't allow you to, you reach out to them. You reach out to the next higher up yourself. So now what will happen a lot of times when you're getting ready to go up, if you are a junior soldier, you are supposed to be getting counseled every month. Every month, they're supposed to sit down with you. People think counseling, you may only see a counseling statement when you're in trouble. But when you first get to a unit, you're supposed to be getting your initial counseling. And this tells you what's expected of you in your section and all these different things. And then monthly, it's just basically each month, you and your supervisor should be sitting down and setting goals for you, and telling you the things that you're doing well, the things that you need to improve on. You should be coming up with short-term and long-term goals. And each month, you're supposed to sit down with a counselor, talk about these things, sit down with your immediate supervisor, talk about these things. He or she signs off, you sign, end date, and you're supposed to get a copy. And I would suggest you always keep a copy of your counselings. Okay? And then you come back the next month and maybe you look to see, hey, let's say they say short-term goal is for you to get signed up for classes. Next month, you'll be talking about that. Were you able to sign up for classes? What happened? What's the plan? All of that. If you get in any trouble or something happens, you may get a counseling to talk about that specific thing that you did. It may just be a verbal counseling. They just talk to you about it. But if it's something you do again, they're going to sit you down. They should sit you down and counsel you. Talk to you about the incident when it happened. Here's the goal. This is what we're going to do to correct it. This is the expectation. Your supervisor sign, you sign. And what's going to happen now, because you've been counseled maybe for something, an error you made or something you did on purpose, in 30 days, they're going to come up with a plan of action of how you're going to improve. After that, they're going to come back again, depending on, it doesn't have to be 30 days. Let's say the plan of action is for 2 weeks. You're going to do X, Y, Z to get you in line for this particular incident, or to ensure that you understand your work, or understand what we discussed, so you don't repeat this offense. At the end of that time frame, they're supposed to sit down with you again, and you're going to talk about, there's another box on that counseling statement, on that DA 4856, if they still call it that you're going to talk about what the plan of action was, and to ensure that it has been resolved and you understand the mission moving forward. You're supposed to get a copy of that. Now, what happens is when you have an NCO or you have a supervisor that is not doing their counseling, this will be a person that's probably wielding their power all the time, but they're not doing things to ensure that you are taken care of. What's going to happen is, if you decide that you want to go and talk to your commander, or you want to talk to the first sergeant or whoever, all of a sudden your supervisor is going to sit down with you, and there's going to be all these counseling statements from the time you got there up to present that they want you, or for the last 90 days that they didn't counsel you. All of a sudden they're going to be sitting there and telling you, oh, just sign these. They're going to say, don't date it, just sign it. And what they're trying to do, they're trying to backdate, because now they're going to have to go up there to their supervisor and the superiors, and they know that what they're going to ask them is, have you been counseling the soldier? Have you addressed this? And if you're not paying attention, and if you're not reading, if they tell you to hurry up and sign something and you don't have to read it, they could be setting you up, because they're going to put in the dates from when they were supposed to be counseling you. I want you to understand that you have a right to say, no, I'm not going to sign these counseling statements. You have not been counseling me. This is where personal courage comes in, guys. A lot of times people end up getting intimidated and done wrong. A lot of times young soldiers are treated so badly that they end up either hurting themselves, or sometimes they hurt their supervisors, or even become violent, or just have a meltdown and end up punching and breaking things, or even people, because you're being antagonized. And you want to be able to show that, look, I am not a problem soldier. This is what's been going on. But what they may want to do is, as I said, I hope I'm not skipping around too much, they want you now to sit here and sign all this paperwork. You have to have the personal courage to say, no, you have a right to say that. Because a lot of times they're going to try to put things in a way, or they may even have you just sign some blank paperwork and they fill it in with all this nonsense, and your signature is on it. So they want to look like, hey, I've been counseling the soldier, I've been following up, and they're a problem. Do not ever sign counseling statements. Then they bring you a pile and they try to backdate it. When you sign it, date it. Put the date on it. And you're going to see them. No. Don't let them do it. Okay? A lot of times they're doing that because they're not doing their job. Maybe there's going to be an inspection of the folders and they're trying to see the records and they're trying to get you to do that. You must have integrity and personal courage to say, no, I'm not going to do that. I'll sign whatever you bring in the future, but I'm not going to sign and backdate things from the past. And especially when they're trying to get you and they're trying to take your rank, you want to make sure that you're not sitting there letting them trick you to sign anything you should not sign. Your supervisors, if you are anywhere from a private to a specialist or whatever the equivalent will be for your specific branch of service, if you are not an officer and you are not a sergeant, you are supposed to be getting counsel every single month. Another thing, if you are being mistreated, you need to keep a record. That means when something happens, you just put the date, write it down, keep a little tiny book, a little folder, or a little notepad, and you put what happened. So when you go to talk to somebody about something that happens to you, you can say, on this day at this time, this happened. Or during this month, this year, this happened. Okay? You don't want to be like someone that's petty, but I'm talking about when you know when you're being mistreated. You know when you're being done wrong. The military have so many things in place to help their soldiers and their officers and their non-commissioned officers. They are there. But too often people just end up, you're doing all these things and you're not sitting down to read your regulations and to understand the Army policies and what's out there. So you can get in trouble. You can make mistakes. You could think that, oh, you can go out there and you're a sergeant and you don't know you're not supposed to go drinking and fraternizing with like a private. If you don't understand these things, or you don't understand certain things you're not supposed to do, certain places you are not supposed to be. And at other times you allow yourself to get so frustrated, right, that you end up handling things your way. Oh, you're a fighter. You don't take anything. That's fine. You're going to go curse out this sergeant. You're going to curse out this individual. Is going to fight him. You may beat him, but now you're going to have to deal with the military. And it does not matter if they were wrong. You have to understand Army policies and procedures. Army regulations comes down from the Army. Military regulations, whether you're Army, Navy, Air Force, it is the military's rules. So you can say this person deserves a beating and you decide to beat him, but you have to understand that now you're in violation of the military codes of conduct. And so regardless of what they've been doing, you are not going to be justified for cursing them out. You are not going to be justified for being violent. You're going to face military consequences because you didn't break their rules. You now broke the military rules regardless. So understand that you have the opportunity to go talk to a chaplain. Understand you have the ability to go up the chain of command. Understand that you're supposed to be counseled every month. If you're not being counseled every month, do not backdate and sit there and let them have you sign in a bunch of things so that they can say, oh, we've been dealing with them and look, they're still screwing up. You have a right to say no. You can go to the inspector general. This should be the very last resort, where now things are going to be an official investigation. There's military police. There's chaplains. I think I said that already. You can go talk to a chaplain if you're being stressed out before you reach to a point of violence or doing something you really shouldn't do. So guys, if you have questions about things, please don't forget that you can hit me in the comments below. If you want to email me, you look in my About tab, you'll see my email. And I will be doing more videos on the military and be able to encourage you guys and help you guys to go in the right direction. Okay? It's not a place that you can just be abused and mistreated. A lot of people end up experiencing this because they don't know the rules. All right? And I'm here to help you. All right, guys.